Hello, and today I'm going to share some important information about SLD, that is single line diagram, in this video clip. And again, if you have any clarification and doubts, please feel free to ask, as this is very fundamental and the basic informations for any O&M person in facility management department. So let us see this. What is the SLD? I told you the full form of SLD is single line diagram. What is that single line diagram? Why it is called a single line diagram? This a single line diagram. It is like a blueprint of your building. Before construction any building, you are preparing blueprint so that you will come to know that where exactly different hall, kitchens, rooms, everything comes in that picture itself. Similarly, in electrical engineering maintenance department also, in each and every electrical maintenance department, they maintain this single line diagram. They display the single. It is a mandatory to display single line diagram. If you see the single line diagram, it clearly shows that how do you get three-phase power supply from your building, from starting point to the ending. This is the starting point of this, and this is the consumer customer end. From starting point to the ending point, it shows clearly almost all the electrical devices, equipments with the symbols, so that you will get a clear picture how does it starts from the starting point and where exactly it flows, power goes to each and every department, and what are the electrical equipments, major components, equipments involved in this, and how this power is being distributed to the different department and different floor also. For this operation maintenance team, irrespective of their designation, whether it is a technician, supervisor, engineer, executive, or even AFM and FM also, moment they report their duty in particular site, very first day you have to check this single line diagram of particular that building and try to understand this single line diagram. If you can able to understand this single line diagram, if you can able to read the single line diagram, what is that, which equipment, which device is connected and where it is connected and what is the specification of all these things, then see that you will be knowing about 60 to 70% of that work of that building you can manage, and the remaining 30% you have to go and see the locations of that devices where they have erected and fixed and commissioned, and also the operations of this. So if you know this, you can able to discharge your duty, can able to operate and maintain, you can able to handle anything in that particular site independently, individually, without depending on any others. I would like to explain this. What is this single line diagram? Before that, why it is called as a single line diagram? In previous videos, I clearly told that whatever the electrical power you are getting to your building, that is three phase 415 volts. In three phase, you know that minimum three phase or three lines are required. That is R phase, Y phase, B phase plus a neutral 4. Again, grounding, earthing, including all of these things. So there are different and so many wires are there. In three phase, three wire system is there. Three phase four wire system is there. Three phase five wire system is there. Here's an additional information for you. Three phase three wire system, that is RYB, only three lines. There is no neutral. Normally, you can see this system in transmission line. There is no neutral at all. Again, three phase four wire system. In three phase four wire, RYB, three phases plus one neutral. This you can see in distribution system. And three phase five wire system. In three phases, five wires are there. Three phases RYB, three phases plus one neutral. And the fifth one is the grounding. Sometimes they use it for in distribution system. They use the fifth wire as an additional neutral for street light purpose also. You can see in that this fifth wire, it has been drawn over that in the overhead line system. So on the top of that pole, Usually this is being used for streetlight for additional control, neutral control for this streetlight system. So like this, if you consider minimum 3 wires, if you draw the single line, this diagram with the 3 wires, it creates a lot of confusion. So in order to avoid this confusion, whether it is a 3-phase 3 wire or 4 wire or 5 wire, whatever it may be, the entire thing is represented by single line. Moment you see that, it is understood. This is 3 wire 3-phase 415 volts. It is understood, 3-phase system. So that is the reason it is called as a single line diagram. This will help you a lot if you have this single line diagram on a sheet, a single sheet. You can look into the different accessories, where exactly, where in which floor, actually where is the place also. You can see each and everything, the entire distribution system in your building. Now see this is the starting point. This is also called as RMU, ring main unit. In the ring main unit, you have dual sources. You are getting 3-phase supply from 2 different substations. If you see this in RMU here, it is clearly written that particularly from which substation this is and which substation which are the 2 substations supplying power to you, particular your site where you are working. It is clearly mentioned. It should be written. For example, assume this is from KR Puram and this is from Hebbara substations. So that when 2 different substations are feeding 3-phase power to your site, your building, that is your option, your choice. You can connect from this side also, or you can connect from this substation also. This is an extra privilege facility is being given to the HT consumers. In case, for example, I told you this is coming from this power is being supplied from KR Puram. If this breaker, this is VCB, vacuum circuit breaker, this breaker is closed, then see this breaker is closed, this is metering chamber, and this VCB vacuum circuit is closed, and this is transformer, this is ATS, and the power is being distributed. So different section through breakers. When you are getting supply from this system, this should be kept open. This must be kept open. It should not supposed to be closed. Imagine what happens if you close both VCBs at a time. It is nothing but you are connecting 2 different substations to the one point. It's a dead short. For avoiding this, they are using this. They are using interlocking switches in this breaker, so that when this is switched on, you cannot switch on. If you try to switch on also, that never connects unless you switch off this, because this NC of this is connected in series with this, so that when you switch off, then only you can able to operate this. These are called as interlocking switches. Okay, now you see this. Okay, these are, and one more important point, from this starting point to this transformer, you can see the transformer. I told you in previous videos, previous training program, we are using the step down transformer, 11,000 bar 415 3-phase transformer. Here the primary winding is connected. This is primary. Primary side is connected to the 3-phase 11,000 volts, and secondary side it is reducing the voltage to 415. So from starting point to till this end, it is called as HT, high tension, 11,000 volts. Again, from secondary side to till dead end, it is called as LT, low tension, that is 415 volts 3-phase and 230 volts single phase voltage. So now we can able to understand, we can clearly see that your transformer is connected to both HT and LT. And now, and see one more information here from this HT side, you can see the breakers only VCBs, only vacuum circuit breakers are connected here. Again, from secondary side to dead end, you cannot see a single VCB here. These are all ACB, MCCBs and MCBs and other breakers, not VCB. And you cannot find any this ACB or MCCB at HT side. You cannot see VCB at LT side. So this I will explain in detail while explaining this circuit breakers. What is the reason for this? Why can't we use VCB at LT side? Why can't we use ACB and MCCB at HT side? And now your system works like this. Now we are getting EB supply from this This substation is feeding the supply. This is closed and this is closed. This is metering chamber where you're supposed to take the different readings of data, that is kVA, kW, kVHR, kWHR, maximum demand and power factor and all these things, HT side reading. And this is closed and this is transformer is connected. Secondary side, this is closed. Again, this is ATS, auto transformer switch, auto mains failure for changeover process. Automatically, it change over from EB supply to DG, DG supply to EB. And then again ACB, again, so this power is being distributed to the different sections. For example, this goes to workstation, and this goes to cafeteria, and this goes to some other section, and this goes to UPS section. So this goes to the chiller, like this. It's clearly mentioned on this. So which breaker is supplying to which section. So this is how the entire power is being distributed. Now, when all these switches are closed and EB is supplying you are using EB power, entire your installation, your building installation, everything is connected on this substation. All of a sudden, this EB fails here. EB power fails. When EB power fails, you see that entire thing will be disconnected. So then automatically this ATS or AMF, auto transfer switch, auto mains failure, it will sense this and automatically it will disconnect and it will close towards this side and it gives signal to the generators to start. This is how it is automatically being so generators are started when there is a power interruption. In case if this fails to work, if this auto transfer switch or auto mains failure fails to function, you should know how to operate it manually. That is a manual operation. So this is a changeover process. Usually, as per the present requirement in IT/BT companies where they have server room, data center, hub room, and labs and all, their requirement is this changeover should happen maximum within 14 seconds, 14-15 seconds, not more than that. When AB feels within 14-15 seconds, this changeover happens, so it will connect the entire load on the DG. And when this is connected this side, you see that entire this will be isolated, disconnected from the load. Entire load comes on the DG. Then after this process, the responsibility of O&M, that is operation maintenance team, who is in charge of that shift, is to look after this, have to check these DGs and have to check different parameters of this diesel level and everything, oil level and everything. And he has to take some readings also, have to update the readings, the data center. In between, after some time, after completing all these operations, he has to contact his EB persons and he have to find out the reason for this power failure. In case if it is due to major fault, it takes hours together to resume EB pay. Even they will tell you that, so that they will give you the permission to switch on this power from other location, from other substation, this side. We have an option so that you can utilize this. You can use this option. You can close this one so that you can switch off the DG, you can save the diesel also. That option is there. But here at a HT side, for your information, as per IE rule, you should not supposed to touch and operate anything in this area. You are not an authorized person. Only EB people should come and help you. They should come and operate. To the maximum extent, you can visit and you can note down the readings. That's all. And there is a reason for that. I tell you this in next video, please. And at the secondary side here, so in case EB resume, assume now EB phase and DG is running, both DGs are running and taking this entire load. In between, after 10-15 minutes, EB resumes. You will get EB power. So that you will come to know here at the panel board, 3 indicators will be there and the voltmeters will be there. By checking this voltmeter and indicator, you will come to know that. So what is the level of the voltage and everything. If everything is okay as per the requirement, then we have to the changeover. You have to change this. You have to connect the load on this EB. This also, this ATS, if the ATS and AMF panel is working automatically in auto mode, so that will take care, that will sense and immediately it will change this entire load, will connect the entire load on this EB, this side. So in case if it fails, operator should know how to operate it manually. This is how this system will work. This is how the changeover process takes place from EB power to DG and DG to EB. And now this section, I told you this metering chamber or metering cubicle. This is very, very, very important part. Where this our operation team hourly once once in a day they will visit that spot to note down some readings. These are very, very important readings. These are also called as HT side readings. This HT readings, high tension side readings. And this side we have given some abbreviations and meaning of that abbreviation. So normally we used to use RMU, ring main unit, vacuum circuit breaker, MC metering chamber, DG, diesel generator. These are the common factors. Almost every day we are going to use this. We are going to say this. And here, when I told you this reading, because the main KWHR meter, that is energy meter, it is recording how much energy you are going to consume per day, per hour. So that will record each and every second, each and every moment, each and every minute, each and every hour, each and every day. As per the instructions from the clients, you have to follow. If they ask you to take hourly reading, you have to take. If they ask you to take daily reading once in a day, that is also enough. Or once in 2 hours also. That depends on the instructions, your clients and customers. Now the question is, you see, this is actually real photos of this. This is called as RMUR, and here this you are getting power from two different substations. So and this here, so one feeder. These are feeders. So you can operate this feeder, switch on and switch off these feeders by operating the VCBs. This is at HT side. So power comes enter to two different places, two different components, and from there it goes inside transformer from any one feeder. So this is the transformer, and from the secondary side of the transformer, which is reducing the voltage to 415 volts, so that will be connected inside in the LT row to the different panels. And I have claimed this high tension and low tension, that is 11,000 volts, so that is called as high tension high voltage side, and 230 and 450, this is low voltage side. And this is also one more photo which clearly shows the transformer and metering chamber. This is the metering chamber. Usually this metering chamber connected at HT side only, 11,000 volts side only. From this HT side, from this metering chamber, its supply goes to primary. Again, from the secondary, it goes to LT row. This is how. So here, and what are the important readings to be taken? You can see this clearly. Yeah? And before going to this important readings of the HT side, usually if you go to metering chamber, you can see that many information will be written on this one side of the metering chamber in paint. Permanently they have written that. It should be written. In that, important thing is the written CV, CT, PT ratios, meter constant, and so these are the important things will be written on that. It must be, it is a compulsory. You have to display that. It is written in the paint. You have to observe and you have to understand what is the meaning of each and every component, each and every term. This is a CD. CD stands for customer demand or contract demand. It will be written clearly here. The CD, customer demand, what is that? Customer demand or contract demand, in the sense the customer or person who is running that uh, company, that the customer has demanded and request for the power and he got sanctioned it. That is the meaning of the city contract. I mean, he has demanded, he got it sanctioned. For example, if he requests 950 kVA or 750 kVA or 1000 kVA or 1500 kVA, so he got it sanctioned. He demanded and he requested EVs and he got it demanded, he got it sanctioned. For this also process is there. You cannot go and simply ask that I want 1000 kVA, I want 500 kVA. We have to separate the full details of the connected load, how many lamps you are using, how many motors you are using, how many chillers you are using. You have to give in detail. So they will go through all these things. They will calculate the total power in kVA and they will tally as per your requirement. If it is okay, then they will sanction that power to you. That is called as a contract demand. That each and every customer, once he got sanctioned, he has to mention that, he has to openly display that. This you can see in each and every site, in each and every substations, power stations, you can see that it will be written. HT consumer side, it is clearly written. CD 500 kVA, CD 1000 kVA, CD 3000 kVA. It clearly shows if it is CD 1000, it is written 3000 kVA. It sees that it's understood that customer so got sanctioned with 1000 kVA power from EV side. That is the meaning of that. And then the CT-PT ratio. This is also written that CT is the current transformer and PT is the potential transformer. To brief this, what is the CT and PT? These two devices are used at HT site to measure high current and high voltage. Especially in electrical installation, you can see the CT-PTs. Current transformer is used to measure high current in the electrical installation, and potential transformers are used to measure high voltage in electrical installation. But these are not measuring instruments. These devices are helping low range voltmeter and ammeter to measure high current and high voltage at HT site. This will help, that's all. That the procedure, how to use the CT, how to measure this high current and high voltage using low range ammeter and voltmeter with the help of the CT-PT. This will be explained during the next training program. And you have to mention the ratio of the CT-PT also here. The CT ratio will be like this, 500 bar 5. It just means that if you use this ratio CT, it indicates primary side it takes 500 amps and secondary side it is reducing to 5 amps. So that secondary side we connect only low range ammeter, 5 amps ammeter. So using 5 amps ammeter with the help of CTU, you can measure this much current. Similarly, PT ratio also. Usually the standard PT ratio is 11,000 bar 110 volts. The meaning of this, primary side it takes 11,000 volts, secondary side it will reduce to 110 volts. So that by using 110 volts low range voltmeter, you can measure high voltage there. This will explain in detail. And if you find out the ratio of this, primary side is CT, as far as CT is concerned, if it is taking 500 amps and reducing at secondary side 5 amps, if you find out the ratio of 500 times 500, that is 100 times it is reducing the current. This 100 is called as CT ratio. Again, PT, 11,000 bar 110. This is also 100 times of 1100, that is 11,000. Here also PT ratio is also 100. Now CT ratio is 100 and PT ratio is 100. And whatever the power you are measuring, you know the power is the product of current and voltage. Whatever that measuring instrument is recording, it is showing the reading that the power, different power, kVAr, kilowatts, even energy also. That should be multiplied by the product of these two ratios. For example, I'll show you here CT ratio 100, PT ratio 100. So product of these two is 10,000. This 10,000 product of these two ratios is called as metering constant, MC. Even that should be written here. Meter constant should be written here. So that The O&M person who is in shift, he should know about this metering constant. So whatever the reading is taking, that should be multiplied by this metering constant. If it is not written in case, you should know how to calculate this metering constant also. And the next,